Free coffee at work sounds like a perk. It feels generous, thoughtful, almost harmless. Unlimited coffee. Always hot. Always there. But nothing in a modern workplace is truly free. And the cost of that coffee is not measured in money. It's measured in behavior. At first, it feels like a small win. You walk into the office. You grab a cup. Someone refilled the beans. Someone cleaned the machine. You didn't ask for it. You didn't pay for it. And that's exactly why it works. Because free coffee is not about caffeine. It's about rhythm. It creates a pattern. You arrive, you drink, you settle in. Your body learns something before your mind does. This is where I wake up. This is where I function. This is where my energy comes from. Slowly, your most alert hours stop belonging to you. They start belonging to the place. Coffee becomes a signal, not just to your nervous system, but to your identity. You're not tired at home. You're tired before work. You're not energized in the morning. You're energized after you badge in. That's not accidental. Modern workplaces are designed around dependence, not independence. Free coffee fits perfectly into that system. It reduces friction. It removes a reason to leave. It shortens the distance between discomfort and productivity. You don't step outside. You don't slow down. You don't reset. You just pour another cup. And it works best because it feels kind. No one forces you to drink it. No one tracks how many cups you take. But your body keeps count. So does your attention. Over time, the coffee stops being a perk. It becomes a compensator. It compensates for poor sleep, long hours, mental overload, constant context switching. Instead of asking why you're exhausted, you just drink more. Instead of questioning the pace, you stimulate yourself to keep up. Free coffee doesn't solve fatigue. It postpones awareness of it. And postponed awareness is extremely valuable. Because an aware employee is a dangerous employee. Someone who notices when their best hours are gone, when their focus is fragmented, when their workday never really ends. Someone who notices eventually asks questions. Free coffee keeps things smooth. There's another cost most people never think about. Coffee anchors you physically. You start to associate certain feelings with certain places. Energy happens here. Focus happens here. Relief happens here. Not because the work is meaningful, but because the stimulation is constant. Over time, your nervous system stops separating the environment from the effort. Work feels survivable, not because it's balanced, but because it's buffered. Buffered by caffeine. Buffered by noise. Buffered by movement that looks like freedom, but isn't. You stand up. You walk to the kitchen. You chat. You pour another cup. Your body interprets this as rest, but it's not rest. It's interruption. And interruptions feel light until you add them up. The problem is not the 10 minutes. It's the re-entry. Every time you leave a task and come back, your mind pays a tax. A tax on depth. A tax on continuity. A tax on meaning. By the afternoon, you're not tired from working. You're tired from restarting. This is where free coffee becomes invisible. Because it's no longer the reason, it's just part of the loop. A loop that looks like productivity from the outside, but feels like friction from the inside. You don't question it because everyone else is doing it too. The cups, the refills, the casual exhaustion. It becomes culture. And culture is powerful because it feels normal. No one announces that they're compensating. They just say, "I need another coffee." What they often mean is, "I'm overloaded. I can't slow down. I don't have space to stop." But those words never appear. Coffee fills the gap instead. And slowly, the ability to notice what you actually need starts to fade. You don't ask whether the work is sustainable. You ask how to survive it. That's a subtle shift, but it changes everything. Because survival thinking doesn't lead to better work. It leads to endurance. And endurance is useful, but it's not creative. It doesn't build, it maintains. Free coffee helps maintain what might otherwise break. And that's exactly why it's effective. You plan your breaks around it, your conversations around it, your movement around it. The kitchen becomes the social hub. The machine becomes the meeting point. You're not leaving the building. You're circulating inside it. This is not about control through force. It's about control through comfort. And comfort is far more effective. Think about how often your best conversations at work happen next to the coffee machine. Think about how many ideas never make it past that space. They dissolve into small talk. They get interrupted. They lose depth. Energy is spent, but not invested. Free coffee also trains time blindness. You don't feel the cost of another cup. You don't notice how often you stand up. You don't track the interruptions. Your day fragments quietly. 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there. A reset that never fully resets. By the end of the day, you feel tired, but strangely unaccomplished. And then you blame yourself. You assume it's discipline, or motivation, or focus. Rarely do you question the environment. The most expensive part of free coffee is what it teaches you to tolerate. It teaches you to override signals. Sleep? Later. Hunger? Ignore it. Mental fatigue? Another cup. Your body stops being an authority. The system becomes one. And once that happens, burnout doesn't arrive suddenly. It arrives quietly, disguised as productivity. None of this means coffee is bad, or that workplaces are evil. It means incentives are subtle. And modern incentives are designed to feel helpful. The real question isn't, why do they offer free coffee? The real question is, what problem is it solving for them? And what problem is it hiding from you? Because if your energy only works inside a building, if your focus depends on a machine, if your alertness is rented by the hour, then something valuable is no longer yours. Awareness doesn't require quitting coffee. It requires reclaiming choice. Knowing when stimulation is helping and when it's compensating. Knowing the difference between support and substitution. You don't need to reject the coffee. You need to notice the pattern. Notice where your best energy goes. Notice what time of day belongs to you. Notice what keeps you inside when you might need space. Free coffee is a small thing, but small things shape habits. Habits shape days, and days shape lives. The cost isn't the caffeine. The cost is who controls your energy. And once you see that clearly, even the simplest perks start to look different.